Audio Bible super production.
The Acts of the Apostles.
Then Peter stood up with the 11, raised his voice, and proclaimed to them,
"You who are Jews, indeed all of you staying in Jerusalem, let this be known to you, and listen to my words. Jesus the Nazarene was a man commended to you by God with mighty deeds, wonders, and signs, which God worked through him in your midst, as you yourselves know. This man, delivered up by the set plan and foreknowledge of God, you killed, using lawless men to crucify him. But God raised him up, releasing him from the throes of death, because it was impossible for him to be held by it. For David says of him, 'I saw the Lord ever before me. With him at my right hand I shall not be disturbed. Therefore my heart has been glad, and my tongue has exulted. My flesh, too, will dwell in hope, because you will not abandon my soul to the netherworld, nor will you suffer your Holy One to see corruption. You have made known to me the paths of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence.' My brothers, one can confidently say to you about the patriarch David that he died and was buried, and his tomb is in our midst to this day. But since he was a prophet and knew that God had sworn an oath to him that he would set one of his descendants upon his throne, he foresaw and spoke of the resurrection of the Messiah, that neither was he abandoned to the netherworld, nor did his flesh see corruption. God raised this Jesus. Of this we're all witnesses."
Psalm 16, a Miktam of David.
Keep me safe, O God. In you I take refuge. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. You are my only good. Lord, my allotted portion and my cup, you have made my destiny secure. Pleasant places were measured out for me. Fair to me indeed is my inheritance. I bless the Lord who counsels me. Even at night my heart exhorts me. I keep the Lord always before me. With him at my right hand, I shall never be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad. My soul rejoices. My body also dwells secure. For you will not abandon my soul to Sheol, nor let your devout ones see the pit. You will show me the path to life, abounding joy in your presence, the delights at your right hand forever.
The first letter of Peter.
Now if you invoke as Father him who judges impartially according to each one's works, conduct yourselves with reverence during the time of your sojourning, realizing that you were ransomed from your futile conduct, handed on by your ancestors, not with perishable things like silver or gold, but with the precious blood of Christ, as of a spotless, unblemished lamb. He was known before the foundation of the world, but revealed in the final time for you, who through him believe in God, who raised him from the dead and gave him glory, so that your faith and hope are in God.
The Gospel according to Luke.
Now that very day, 2 of them were going to a village 7 miles from Jerusalem called Emmaus, and they were conversing about all the things that had occurred. And it happened that while they were conversing and debating, Jesus himself drew near and walked with them, but their eyes were prevented from recognizing him. he asked them.
What are you discussing as you walk along?
They stopped, looking downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, said to him in reply,
Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know the things that have taken place there in these days?
And he replied to them,
What sort of things?
They said to him,
The things that happened to Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people. How our chief priests and rulers both handed him over to a sentence of death and crucified him. But we were hoping that he would be the one to redeem Israel. And besides all this, it is now the third day since this took place. Some women from our group, however, have astounded us. They were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body. They came back and reported that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who announced that he was alive. Then some of those with us went to the tomb and found things just as the women had described. But him they did not see.